Hi, in this video I'm going to be explaining um, how to make sales. So this is the sales module. You click on this when you want to make sales. I assume that you already know how to log in. So once you log in, it gives you this page. Then you click on this. So once you click on this, this comes up. Because I already clicked on it, you can see that it's on the desktop. It's already here on this taskbar. So if I click on this, it gives me this page. But if this is minimized and I click on this, you can see that it's not coming up. So that's the first thing you might want to watch out for. So if I click on this and it's blinking like this, that means it's already dropped to the taskbar. So I can select it on the taskbar. So I'll take that again. I'll click on the new sales and this page comes up. So this is your sales page. This red one, new. So once this comes up, there are three different methods of selling. The first one is by selling using the dashboard, these buttons on the dashboard. So you can have as many as you want this button. So as you are creating your items, automatically it's creating a category for you. So if I come up here now on the new inventory page to create another item, and I say 6, and I say category, the category of this one now is maybe electronics, and I put one electronics item, radio, FM, maybe Sony. So and I put the cost price and I put the selling price, then I add it up. So automatically the system gives us, on the sales page, automatically gives us this electronics as a menu. So any other thing that comes up under this electronic is going to be under this menu. So which means if I select this menu and I go and I select this electronics, automatically everything falls under this electronics menu. So I could come back to this page and select maybe this item and select that, okay, I want to add a new item to my electronics, maybe 70. Now I have TV, maybe LG TVs, LG TV. So 32 inches. So then I put the cost price, the selling price. If I click on save, automatically this falls under this electronics again. When I go back to my sales page, you can see that if I now select electronics, we now have two items under electronics. We have the radio, we have the TV, and I can click on this menu to go back to the menu. So that's the first method of selling. That's using your menu, and this menu also extends to, probably you want to change your menu. Maybe if you want to change your menu to maybe when I select this electronics and I realize I want TV to have its own menu where all TVs are going to be located, so that when we click on TV menu, it just takes us to that menu. So automatically I could add it to existing menu. So I could decide that I want to put it under COP 2. I could decide that I want to put TV, LG TVs under maybe the menu called COPS. So the way I'm going to do that is by going to the customized menu, click on this change category, then select the new category that I want to change it to. I'll just type COP, maybe at the point that you have a long list. Then I'll select this COP, then select the new item that I want to add under this COP, the LG TV. Then I'll click on save. So once you do that, it tells you record updated. You can close this and close this too from here. Then now you go to your COPs, you can see that there's now LG TV under your COP. So, and by the way, you can as well create a new menu for all electronics. So by doing that, you can maybe shovel all the items that you have before to the new menu that you must have created. So probably that menu is not existing here before. So I can come here now and say customize menu and say I'll just click on this white stuff where it says select menu. I'll just click on it and type the new menu. These are the existing menus. So I can type a new menu and call it maybe speakers. 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 So then I'll click on save. So record save. So we can now have a new menu called speaker. If I close this now and I say menu, you can see that my menus has increased to, we now have speakers. Then I can change maybe some items I already have in existence before. I can customize menu and say change these menus, now put some items under speakers for me. Speaker, then select the item, then select the items I want to add under the speakers. Maybe I can say glass this put it under speakers for me, and yeah, I can put as many as I want under the speaker menu. So that is how to customize your menu. And if you're selling with this dashboard, maybe if I go to my dashboard and I say I want to sell electronic speaker, if I click on this electronics and I take radio, automatically it will just drop it on the screen for me automatically. So I don't need to do anything more than that. If I'm selling one radio and I'm selling one television, I'll go back to my menu and take I think that's under corps. Now I'll take one television, so automatically it drops it down to this place for me. And if you want to see all your items all together without them being under menu, just click on this inventory list. Automatically it brings up everything that you have, but this menu just allows it to reshuffle it for you, to make it easy for you to sell. You understand? So that's what the menu is meant for. And by default, any item that you select, by default it believes that that item is one. So for example, if I go to electronics and I take this electronics, I take radio, automatically it believes that radio I'm selling one automatically. So but if I want to sell more than one, all I need to do is select that thing first, that number that I want to sell first, maybe 3, then 3 watts under copper wire. I'm selling wire 3. I'm selling 3 of this. So if I want to sell 4 items, I'll just select the 4 first. But by default now, this is assuming that you are adjusting it. So you need to be very, very careful when you are selecting these items. If you select this, by default it's believing that you are adjusting it. So that's what this means. So and you have to just adjust it, or you select that item again. Automatically it adds that item up for you. So if I want to delete this item that I select now, I can select it and say delete line, this one here. So if I click on delete line, automatically it clears up this, it removes it from this list. If I click on this again and I say delete line, automatically it takes it off the list that I already have. So, and there's a box that comes up that maybe probably you want to search for new item that you are adding, because that's another method of selling. So I can type, maybe I want to add this particular item to my list. That's the reason for that box that comes up automatically. But because it believes if I'm removing this small ever, if I delete this small ever, it gives me option for me to add new item. So I can now say, okay, I'm adding wire. Instead of this, I'm adding wire 1. So which brings us to the second method of selling. The second method of selling is by, the first method is by using this your dashboard to select any item that you want to sell. Just pick it up, it drops, add it to the list for you. But the second method of selling is by selecting, click on this description. Once you click on this description, you type the item name like you are Google searching it. Hot dog, I'll just select it. Once it gives me that option, maybe I type big. Once I type big, it gives me all items that falls under big. This is big Gordon, even vodka big. Then I can select it. And if I type W, it gives me all the item under W, maybe wire 1, wire 2, wire 3. Then I select it. It drops it under this for us. Then that is the second method of selling. So once I now have all my list, I have my current total. I could see what the total is. I can tell the customer that your total money is 4,500. If he's removing something, you select hot dog and say he's removing hot dog. Automatically the total prorates itself. And if you want this to clear up the screen, you can press escape on your keyboard. Escape, the escape key. Once you press the escape, it disappears from your system. So now you can have the normal screen the way it should be. And now if you are done and you have your total, you can now select the pay cash, pay POS, pay transfer, depending on how the customer wants to pay. So we've talked about two methods of selling. By selling with your menu, you select your menu, then or by searching it like Google search, you click on this description and enter the item, part of the item letters that you want to sell, then click on it. It automatically drops to the screen. Then you can now select the pay cash, pay POS, or pay by transfer, depending on the amount that the customer must have given you. So if I'm taking pay cash, automatically it's just print to my printer automatically. Automatically I have the receipt printed automatically. So if I select pay POS, automatically it prints too. In your own case, you might not have that that thing that comes up. You see, if I take pay POS, automatically you might not have this that comes up in your own case. Just close it. So automatically it prints, and this page clears off. This page clears off by default. So once you pay cash, pay POS, or pay by transfer. And on your, once you are done with payment, maybe the customer pay by cash, pay by POS, pay by transfer, you can go to your sales list. This is the sales list, this one here. This is the sales list. You can see that here we now have the item, the total item that you must have, we sold for today, which is 47,400. This one here. So if I had more items, in my case now, since I'm not since my printer is not connected, I can uncheck this one here. I don't want to print, that's what it means, but I want to make sales. So if I select this LG TV and I'm selling with the second method, because probably that one I don't know where it is on the dashboard, I just want to type big to sell, because this person is buying one LG TV and is buying one big stout. So I have two items on the list and the total is 1,000 naira. Now I can say pay by POS. If I click on this pay by POS, automatically it clears off and print out. That's how you know that the sales has actually been made successfully, once it clears off the screen and it print out from your printer. Or probably if you are not printing, you see, in the case where I'm not printing because I'm just using this for demo, I can uncheck the printer and you'll be fine. It will make the sales. It's just that I didn't print out receipt for the customer. Now if I go to my sales list, I'll still see that the sales has increased. You can see I added 1,000 more. We now have 48,400. If I click on all POS transaction, these are all the POS transactions for today, because the customer, these are customers that paid by POS. We have 11,800. If I go to my sales page again and I'm selling something more, maybe under drinks, I'm selling Mattel. Mattel is just 100 naira. In this case now that I'm selling Mattel, I can click on pay by POS. You can see that the sales has been made, and if I go to my sales page now and I select all POS transaction, it was 11,800 before. All POS transactions now is now 11,900. The same thing happens to transfer. We don't even have any item under transfer, but we have for online, which is the POS. We have for cash transactions, which is this, but for check we don't have anything, which is this. Check is the transfer. So if I select all, it gives me all the sales, which is 48,500. For POS, out of this sales, for POS transaction we have 11,900. For cash transaction we have 36,600. Then for check transaction we have 0. Then for all we have it to be 48,500. If I do a transfer, maybe somebody came to buy copper wires, then wire 4, which is 8,000 naira, and I post it under transfer because this person made transfer to us, whichever bank you are using to receive your transfer. Once I click on transfer, automatically it prints my receipt. My sales has been the sales has been made, and I can go to my sales and see that my sales, the total sales now is 56,500. But under my cash transaction, we still have 36,600. Under POS transaction, we still have 11,900. But under check transaction, we have 8,000 naira, because that's the only transaction that we've done under check, which is transfer. So if I add more sales to this check transaction, maybe under drinks, I'm having this one, which is 100 naira, and this person paid by transfer. Automatically, it will print my receipt. But then, if I go to my sales page, all my sales now is 56,600. Then for my check transaction, we now have 8,100, and for my online, still remains the same and all that. So that's the way you know your sales. This all shows everybody. This one here. So that's how you know your sales for the day. And on still going back to the sales page, there are some things I still need to explain to you on this sales page. We now know that if I want to sell maybe wire and I'm selling 3, I have to type 3 first. Then before taking the wire, copper wire, then it now tells me that 3 copper wire is 24,000. And if I'm selling wire 2, I don't know how much wire 2 is. Well, I'm selling 7 pieces of it. I have to take the 7 first, so that this quantity changes to 7. Then I come here and type wire. Then I take the wire 2, which is 6,300 for the 7. And this customer is paying by maybe transfer as well. So once the total is 30,300. Once I click on my transfer, automatically it prints out the receipt for me. Then I can go to my sales list to see my total sales for the day is now 86,900. Then all my transfer, which is on that check, these are all my transfers, was 30,300, and you can see all your transaction for the day. If for any reason you need to reprint any of these invoices, or maybe at the time that you are making the sales it was not printed, maybe your printer was not connected, what you just need to do is make sure that this is set. Whichever printer that you are using, I assume you are using the 58mm, so you take the small printer, then you right click on this item and say print invoice. So automatically it reprints your invoice for you, and you can even double click on it, because in this case now, this 30,300, we don't even know the makeup. We can just see the summary, and we can see that the total quantity here is 10. So if I double click on this, automatically it brings up this page for me that now tells me this receipt, the makeup is 3 wires, which is at 8,000. Then this is the total of the 3 wires. Then we have 7 wires, 2, then at 9 and 6,300, and this is the total of it. So that's for that, and that's how to check or reprint your sales. So in the case where you want to save your transaction, maybe a customer came to buy a transaction and the transaction is long, you don't want to go over selling it again, because whatever you sell from here, it actually reduces from your inventory. In the case of wire 5, now you can see that wire 5 is 64 quantity that we have left. This is your stock level. We have wire 5. I can set it by saying wire, yeah. Then I have my wire 5, which is 64 quantity. If a customer comes to buy 4 out of this wire 5, then we are expecting that in our stock we are going to have 60 left. So let's practically demonstrate that. I go to my sales page and I type, okay, this customer is buying 4 wires. I type 4, then I come here and type wire 4, which is this. So, and I pay POS, pay cash, pay whatever I want to pay. If I pay this, you know that this automatically reduces from your stock level. So if I start for wire 4 now, you can see that wire 4 is now okay. Was wire 5 that was 64. You can see that wire 4 is now 69. I didn't memorize what it was before, but let's do the wire 5, the one that we wanted to make it sure that it balances at 60. So if I go back to my sales now and I take I'm selling 4 wire 5, which is this. So and I say pay cash. So if I go back to my sales, I'm in stock level and search for wires, so I can see that the wire 5 now is 60. So what that implies is that whatever sales that you've made, automatically once you click on this pay cash, pay POS, or pay by transfer, once you click on either of these 3, pay cash, pay POS, or pay by transfer, automatically it reduces your stock level, and there's no way you can bring it back except you call somebody of the higher authority to reverse that transaction for you. So you have to be sure that the customer is satisfied with what he's buying, and is sure, and probably you must have received the payment. So if I'm selling maybe copper wire, I'm selling four, this customer is buying wire 2, wire 1, wire this, and this customer is also buying drinks, he's buying beer, he's buying this, he's buying that, he's buying that, and this transaction is now long. This customer is also buying radio, this customer is also buying TV, this customer is also buying some things that I don't even have on my dashboard. I have to search for his big eyes and all that. So I have a long list here, and this is 12,800. At the point where you have that long list that you can't even see it with the mere eyes again, like you have to scroll at a glance, not mere eyes, sorry. You can't see it at a glance anymore, and you have to scroll to see the exact list. Sometimes if you press F11, it takes you to a page. There's F11 on your computer, so it takes you to this page where you can now see all the transaction at a much more broad glance. That's F11. So if I press the F11 again, it closes it. So so you tell the customer that your money is 12,800 naira, then it's trying to figure out how to pay, maybe transfer is not going and all that, and immediately you click on pay cash or pay POS, your stock level will reduce, and whoever is your manager will have to ask you, why is wire remaining 4? Did you sell it? Okay, or your sales is showing X amount of money, and the money that is in the account is not conforming with the sales. So in order for you not to now start saying story or explaining yourself too much, you have to be sure that that transaction is safe, or that transaction the customer has paid. So this case, that's when you need the save, which is this. So I can save this transaction. Once I save this transaction, automatically it clears off this list. Then if I go back to my list, then I can now look for the transaction. This is the transaction, 12,800 naira. So because I have saved it, so when the customer is ready to pay, I can now click on this, and it brings it back. Then now you can now do your pay cash, pay POS, pay transfer. So, and if the customer wants to add more item to it, he still does not, or he wants to edit it, maybe okay, say okay, remove LG TV. I click on it and I delete it from the line, and I press my escape to see it in a broader view. Then or I press my F11 to see it in a broader view, so that the customer can see that okay, this is what he or she is buying. Then you can now tell the customer that your new total is 11,900. You can still continue to save this item. Once you click on save, it automatically clears off the list. You can click on your list again. You can see that the transaction is now 11,900. So when the customer is fully ready, I'll click on this transaction. It brings it out. Then I can now do my pay cash. So once you do your pay cash or pay POS, or whichever one you choose, pay cash, pay POS, or pay by transfer, automatically it is out of this list. So your list is cleared off. Then you now have only two transactions left. So if you make a transaction again, you make another transaction, you make a lot of transactions, you delete some of them, you delete another one to have this, and you escape on the screen so that you can see everything perfectly. If you have this kind of transaction and you save it, and the customer wants to see a printout of that saved transaction, so that probably he wants to do some things and all that, maybe show it to his boss or something, you can click on this print, this one here. You just click on this print, then you select the transaction. Automatically it won't drop down, it will just give you this option of print invoice. So you can click on print invoice. Automatically the invoice is going to print on your system. If you have any issue, just let me know. Like this place now, I think this one is not well set up. So but once you click on this print invoice, automatically it prints out. Then you can now show the person the printed invoice. Then you close this and you close this. So you continue with your transaction. So, and that is how the save works. I can save at any time I want. I have it saved here. Call it up, then make sales. So that's what the save is meant for. And I think basically that's all. The only thing that is left is if you want to sell by barcode. So definitely I assume that whenever you are recording, your item is also barcoded. If I click on, maybe I'm recording 5 maybe big highs, then I can come here and put the barcode. Let's say the barcode here, I must have scanned my barcode. Automatically it scans, then you update the record, because this item now has one barcode, one as its barcode. If I come here and search for big highs, you can see that big eyes now has one as its barcode. That's how to update the item with barcode. So if I want to give this item a barcode to Big Gordon, I can go to this new inventory and search for Big Gordon. So I just come here and say Big Gordon, Big Gordon. Then I'll come here and scan my barcode. I just come here. If it is empty, you just scan it directly. If it is not empty, you have to clear whatever is there before. Then you scan. Once you scan with your handheld barcode or whatever barcode scanner you have, once you scan it, automatically it drops down. It drops down like this. It drops down like this. So I'll now select it again and scan the barcode. Maybe the barcode of this is 90, then I'll click on update record. So this barcode is going to be 90. So that's how to update the barcode. And if I have the barcode as 90, whenever I go to my sales page and I type 90 or I scan my barcode, just scan it, automatically it brings out Big Gordon for me. If I put the barcode that is 1, automatically it brings out the item for me. So that's how to sell with barcode. So the three mode of selling is by using the barcode scanner, or by using the dashboard, or by selling by typing here to bring out the item. Then also, if you have discount that you are giving your customer, you just come here and put the discount here. Maybe discount is this total item is 300 naira. You can see that the total is 300 naira. I want to give this person 50 naira discount. I'll just type the discount here. That's all. Then I do my pay cash, and automatically the sales is going to be printed. So the advantage of that is that it won't record all your money for you as 300 naira, because now it's telling you that the total paid is 250, but the discount is 50, so that your boss will know how your money did not complete, so for that particular transaction. And that will be all for this. I think I touched everything on sales. If there's any other thing that you need, you can ask me the question, or you can send me a message. I'll explain more to you. Thank you.